Hey everybody, welcome to the Silver Bayonet's Battle Report. I am back with a special guest. This is my friend Christian Cameron, and he has put in my hands for the first time a copy of Silver Bayonet Canada, because I didn't actually have one until you showed up today. And we're going to play through...
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
Well,
I know you struggled a little with the whole idea, but it's really good.
Well, I have to say that's high praise, and I do really appreciate you saying that, because you know more about this period of history, because you're a reenactor in this period. You've written historical fiction and researched tons of this timeline. So saying that actually means quite a lot, because it was a intimidating process to try and write something even a little bit touched in history.
Yeah.
And you then did me the service of writing a campaign, which will be linked in the posts for our patrons. And of course, it'll be on your website eventually as well, so that people can check it out. But you wrote a 4-game campaign based in this time period, and I'm really excited to play through it with you.
It's actually based in 2 time periods. So I put together a bunch of pieces of Canadian history. So loosely based in the Pemmican War, 2 companies fighting each other over the fur trade, but with some really complicated background cultural interaction that I didn't touch on.
Right.
But also I'm really interested in I'm interested in all of history. There's no part of history that doesn't interest me, but I was really interested in a bunch of interactions in the 1860s and 70s. And I became fascinated that for whatever reason, the Canadian government, or really the very end of British Dominion, wanted to make sure that there were vaccinations sent to the West for First Nations suffering from smallpox. Mm-hmm. And that seemed to almost fit in with sending these expeditions of specialists out. And I wanted to deal with the West, like that idea of travel.
Yeah.
And I liked
expansion across the West.
Yeah. But also just the idea of like, you're going to go 1,200 miles in the and what it would be like to take a small military unit across 1,200 miles, because you and I both enjoy wilderness camping and the Canadian wilderness. And I tried to put all that in.
You did. There's a whole lot of ground covered in this one, which is really cool. And the Pemmican War in particular is almost a uniquely Canadian thing, because it's these 2 companies, Northwest Trading Company and the Hudson's Bay Company, basically having like a private military war.
Yes.
In almost central Canada, Plains Canada. So it's around where Winnipeg is today, is where it kind of like really kicks off. And there's tons of really interesting letters you can still find depicting what happened during this period. And for those listening, I don't know if everyone knows what pemmican is. Pemmican's another thing that's a uniquely sort of like colonial Canadian thing.
Pounded buffalo meat with various other things added in, depending on which white or First Nations group was manufacturing it.
Yeah. And a really important travel item.
Absolutely essential.
Because it was essential to, it was very long shelf life. So it lasted a long time, very dense in fat. So it was very good for keeping your energy up, and it was very transportable too.
For D&D players, it's your iron rations.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Elvish. What's the bread
called?
Whey bread. It's whey bread, basically. Yeah. It was incredibly important in the sort of like expansion across and the colonial sort of efforts to like travel, because it was a miracle food, and controlling it, all of a sudden cutting it off. As these companies did, it's a very scurrilous corporate sort of like tactic.
I don't want to get into this because I want it to be a fun campaign, but the Pemmican War is a great example of how nothing has changed. Like,
I was exactly going to say
the Hudson's Bay Company loses the war, so they just buy the Northwest.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. It's the most grim, dark piece of Canadian history. They're like, we lost. Oh, well, we just bought you instead. And now we're your bosses. Yeah. It's like they throw the ring into Mount Doom and then they come back to Gondor, and Sauron's just sitting on the throne being like, sorry.
I'm the king now.
I'm the king now. Exactly. Yeah. So this one's interesting because this first episode, so you've named this the Western Terror. And obviously one of the things that you've done is you've incorporated all the supernatural elements into this sort of like plot line. The briefing for this one is it's the late winter of 1814. Washington, D.C. has been burned by the British. And in the West, First Nations warriors and their British and Canadian allies have retaken and held Michilimackinac. I always get the axe wrong at the end when it's Oz. And other vital Western posts. Commodore Yao of the Royal Navy has reopened the lakes to the movement of provisions, and the rival British fur companies are looking to the west. But all is not well. In the autumn of 1811, Lord Belkirk, one of the shareholders of the Hudson's Bay Company, sent a party of immigrants west to settle the fertile lands west of the Red River. Due to the war, the Hudson's Bay Company has lost contact with the distant colony, and alarming reports have surfaced suggesting disease, cannibalism, and worse, with the trouble spreading outward to the Métis and other First Nations living in the plains. Further complications come from a deep rivalry between the fur companies, and it appears that the local governor, Michael Butler, in an attempt to keep the people fed, has enforced a law prohibiting the export of pemmican to any of the fur companies. In the special units, you have enough experience to wonder if it's possible that no one out there is even making pemmican, but regardless, the HBC and Northwest Company are shooting at each other over the trade rights, and pemmican availability, and First Nations are moving away from the area.
I have to hurry to say the names have been changed to protect
the innocent. Absolutely. Your unit's been dispatched to investigate the cause of the mountain crisis and, if possible, solve the problem. If you can't solve it, at least return to the capital, Quebec City, with solid information about what's happening in the far west. There is a supernatural cause, of course, to all this is happening, as we'll discover as we show you the table, show you our two. I have taken the role of the Northwest Company. I have a voyageur company, basically, heading out to investigate. And what is yours?
All First Nations.
All First Nations.
So I made it under the Upper Canada list, but it is actually, my idea is that the First Nations themselves want to know what's going on.
I would imagine they would if what ends up being here is here, because it's definitely a problem for everyone involved in the region. So we'll show you the table, we'll show you the forces, and we'll get this underway. Okay, so here's the Voyageur Corps of the Northwest Company. So this is my little troop here on the one side. We have Cuthbert Grant, my captain. He's here in the green coat. As a veteran voyageur, he has the steady legs rule as well, but he also has great faith, which means all of his attacks count as blessed. He's equipped with a hand weapon, a musket, a cartridge box, a salt bag, as carrying salt is an important part of curing all the food he's got to take with him, and a holy symbol to go with his great faith. I've upped his speed and his accuracy. He's not much of a melee fighter. He's a bit old. He's a retired officer, now working for the trading company. Then we've got Nolan right here. Nolan is unfortunately cursed with lycanthropy. This is one of the many European imports to the New World, and he is a loup-garou. He has a speed of 6, and when he's transformed into wolf form, his melee becomes +3. He's got a hand weapon and a pistol, and he can skin shift, of course, but he can no longer then interact with objectives or search markers and stuff like that. He's allergic to fire and silver, but he heals quickly when he's transformed. And then we have Duquesnes, who's over here, my infantryman. He has the just standard loadout, a musket, a cartridge box, nothing too special. And then 3 voyageurs. My 3 voyageurs right here in the red caps. They are a new unit entry from Silver Bayonet, Canada. And while they are basically like the standard infantryman stat line, they also have steady legs and strong, because one of the things to become a voyageur was you had to carry 2 50-pound bales of furs.
Yep.
That's insane. That is a, CrossFit eat your heart out. That is so much weight. So they have the strong special rule, which means they do additional damage in melee, because these are no joke. They're old man strong. They're so strong. They're like trying to wrestle your dad. It's just bad. Yeah, exactly. And they have hand weapons, rifles, and cartridge boxes, because by 1812, those were more common. And that's it. That's my group. So what do you have over here in yours?
So first of all, I want to specify that mine is sort of a First Nations all-star team.
Yep.
And I wouldn't even give it a name, but you could call it a war band if you like. So my officer, my most experienced warrior, is Askawetu. Askawetu has great faith, which may sound familiar from your officer.
Absolutely.
It is also inspiring. He carries a rifle, has a cartridge box full of silver bullets, and has a silver-mounted knife. And that's about all he's got. His number one guy, his toughest warrior, is Matanagad. I bought him as a Highlander. Mm-hmm. So he has a 2-handed weapon, or a heavy weapon, and a pistol. Chogon is the doctor. Chogon has a Western-style hat, but a medicine bag, and he's as good a doctor as anybody else. And Wamatan is a champion of faith. Wamatan is dressed in the most traditional way of all of the warriors. He's as I say, a champion of faith, blessings, and supernatural
hunter,
veteran. So he's been around. And then I have 2 woodsmen, again from your Canada supplement. That's these 2 gentlemen. So they both have rifles, and the first one is Samoset, or walks too much. It's a name I've
That makes sense for a coureur de bois.
exactly, and Nutau, and both of them are nimble and have fire starter. I'm not positive how that works out, but we'll see.
It means that they can convert, so they can use an action to make fire. So they don't have to be equipped with the oil and torches. They can just start fire, I think, to fight things that are allergic
I'm
to
utterly at your mercy. This is my first game.
That's perfect.
I painted the miniatures. I enjoyed the heck out of that.
Yeah.
And then there's a gentleman you can see who obviously has a canoe paddle on his back. His etcheman, which is Cree for canoe man.
Yep.
And he's a sailor.
Perfect.
I bought him as a sailor. So he has expert climber and steady legs. He has a hand weapon and pistol. And finally, Hunit, or the handsome man. He's actually one of the few figures depicted in paint. That's for cultural reasons. And Hunit is what you'd just call a basic infantryman.
Gotcha. Perfect. So there it is, our 2 groups meeting to investigate what is going on in this fort. So throughout the campaign, the players are going to gather clue points. 10 clue points are enough to establish that the disease outbreak in this fort is going to be vampirism. It's possible for every participating party to win. However, major victory is to the winning the last scenario and killing an ancient vampire. Minor victory is scored by gaining 10 clue points and getting at least 2 figures off the board in the last scenario. We assume these hardy souls make it back to Montreal or Quebec. For the purpose of the Gothic horror, in all of the scenarios, any creature labeled Revenant, they appear to be revenants, but they're in fact very young, newly made vampires, still able to function in sunlight, though confused and weak. The special monster may appear later on. So in this one, scenario 1, it's Outpost. Play Canada scenario 2, Outpost, with the following alterations. Replace all ghouls with revenants, replace the backsbacks with a vampire, and on the Outpost clue marker table, keep all the descriptions, but Jack, King, and Ace of Spades all provide a clue point, while the Queen, the Journal of Insane Ramblings, provides 2 clue points towards the secret of the disease. The party that spends 1 action in contact with the corpse of the vampire receives 2 clue points. Of course, someone has to kill it and still be alive to spend an action with it. Both parties can achieve this victory condition. Outpost, we are investigating a fort, and this fort, of course, is both quiet and abandoned. Both of the teams will enter on opposite sides of the board, placed within 3. So we're going to roll off now to choose opposite board edges. Could be any of the 4, and they will be placed on either side. So roll a d10. I got a 5. And you got a 1. All right, so I choose this side because I'm standing here.
Good, I like this side.
You like that side? All right, this is working out. All right, I'll deploy within 3. So in this mission, we are investigating the fort. There are 4 clue markers, 1 at either end of the entrances, and then 2 on the sidelines here. A central building and several outbuildings. The central building does have 4 revenants, which are these newly turned vampires in the middle of the table. Now, sun is going down. It's getting real low as we approach camp here, and the every turn that we either kill a revenant or that passes, we will have a sundown counter go up. When it goes to 10 or more, every death plus the turn amount will then unleash, I guess, the villain of this, which is hiding inside the building, waiting for the sun to go down. You rolled a 9 on the initiative check. I rolled a 9 as well, which is a tie. Both players re-roll. If at any point the players roll 2 or 20, it's a special. Do we roll 20? No, we rolled a 13. Okay, so you have the initiative then. That means primary player gets to go, then the monster phase happens, then the secondary player gets to go, and then it's primary player 2. So you're going to get to move half your warband, followed by the monsters, followed by my entire warband, and then followed by your other half. So
Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to
investigate.
investigate.
Card, what did we find? The Jack. The Jack of Spades is a burn pit. The clothing and belongings of dozens of other travelers appear to have been disposed of here. These luckily few unaware of the change in the fort. This need for caution gives you some insight into the weakness of the creatures here and their dislike of being exposed. So add a skill die. So your blue dice goes up to 3 for your skill dice for the fate pool. And you realize that something bad's happened here because there's a bunch of traveler bodies hanging out on one side of the table. For the scenario, you've also discovered a clue, which means that maybe these people like eating people. Whatever this bad guy is.
It's looking that way.
It's looking like some bad things happened to anybody who dropped by this fort. All right, next up.
Askawetu is going to try and waste.
So no moving, just taking a shot.
One of the creatures that I've seen.
All right. Now, is he armed with a musket or is he armed with a rifle? So Revenant, which is a 12. So what is your accuracy bonus?
+1.
So that's going to be a 14 total, with the skill dice being a total of 3. Now they have damage reduction 4, so it means that while you did hit them, you hit them in a non-lethal part of the
I'm just going to use that skill die that I just picked up.
That tracks.
because it would be very handy to me if I could
To do some damage, sure, yeah. They have 10 health. Oh no, it got worse. You hit them in a worse part. So they go from nothing to extra nothing.
Extra nothing.
And you get some smoke to mark that you have fired your rifle.
That did not go as
It's
well.
uninspiring, yeah. Well, you've just realized that these are not normal men because you hit them with a rifle ball and nothing happened.
Right, my Highlander is going to go get in front of the doctor for reasons that I don't need to explain.
Well, the melee damage is not reduced, so that's a good thing. It is. You're having your Highlander that's probably wise with his hand weapon.
And we'll just stay.
There's nobody over on this side, so if they can't see you, they can't run at you.
That's my view.
This does seem smart.
We're going to run our 6.
Remember, you can also spend monster dice to have them go towards the furthest thing.
I understand.
The direction too.
And I think I'm going to have, I'm learning the game.
Yep.
I'm going to have a go at sprint.
I love it. All right, so you need an 11 or higher to go 4 inches, a 10 or higher to go 2 inches, and that's a 10 or less, so it's going to be a 2-inch move.
Well, he's an old man.
And also incredibly cautious because he just watched the guy get shot and have nothing happen. That's right. Yep. I would also be slightly worried about the people living in this fort.
That is, those are my 4 figures.
Perfect. Voyagers.
Isn't it monsters?
It is monsters now, yep. So the monsters are going to start moving, starting with the closest one to a figure, which will be over here.
Yep.
Now, Revenants aren't super fast. They only move 4 inches, which is good for you. So I'm walking 4. And they're done. This is over here.
Looking
can see
pretty
this
good.
one. I don't know who he can see that's
No
closer.
line of sight there, so he's coming this way.
Come that way instead. Going towards the outhouse.
Looks natural so far.
That's right. Yeah, it still seems normal.
Yeah,
this one's going to come towards me because I'm closer and definitely in line of fire because we just decided to walk in the front door like the idiots we are.
Yep.
And then vice versa.
We're new specialists.
I think, yeah, you have moved up slightly, so this one is probably going to walk towards you because you'll be a little bit closer with your Highlander.
I think that is true. So, totally to your benefit.
Except you get all the experience. Okay. Well, while he's still retaining his sanity, my Lugaroo is going to take a walk towards this marker and then investigate it and say...
King.
Oh, the king. All right. Well, the king says, and open fire with a cook pot. After a long week of traveling, the meals look most appetizing until you spot a finger in the pot. Add a fate dice to your pool. We did not like that at all. My infantryman is going to walk 6. They have a 6-inch move over to here. And we'll take a shot at this revenant because, I mean, maybe it'll work for us. It's the noisy phase. All right, so I have a +1 accuracy. Now I moved, so this revenant will gain +1 defense to a 13. And I get a 14, and that is the skill die, unfortunately, not the power die, so I do 0 damage. Again, bullets seem to do nothing, but I will place a smoke marker down. Boss is going to take a move. Now, he added to his getting the hell out of here skill of moving 7 inches, so he's going to walk over here and then try and sprint. That is a 14, so I get to move the extra 4. We're just going to duck into cover over here. I'm going to start moving some Voyageurs, who will do much the same thing, moving up 6. And then sprinting. That's a 4. No, he's very tired from the 50 pounds of beaver pelts he's currently carrying.
On the Red River expedition, they saw Voyageurs carry 230 pounds.
Oh my God. Could you imagine on a diet of pemmican carrying 230 pounds, hundreds of miles? It's madness. Built different would be the term I would use. We're going to walk 6 over here and then sprint again and go 11. So we'll be able to move 4 into this cover and hopefully intercept this ghoul, or revenant rather. And then the last one will go help his friend, moving 6 around the edge and then making a sprint check, which he fails on a 10. So he also only moves 2. And that is my turn. So your second half of your group now gets to go. Just right, yeah. They're very concerned about the other
I'm pretty sure I have a line of sight.
Oh, yeah.
No, last guy does not have line of sight.
Okay.
So let's just move him first.
Flanking maneuver.
He's a bold young man.
Yep.
And he's going to go, he can't quite make it. So he's just going to go to there and be happy there because he's out of line of sight.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm going to hide behind this box.
Brave does not mean stupid.
Nope, absolutely.
So there's a crackle of musketry, +1/+1, both rifles, but it doesn't matter at this range. And then we'll see about Canoe Man.
Perfect. No one's moving. So first shot, I've stolen all the dice again.
Good job. Good job.
I need 2 more sets of dice.
Samoset, he's going to miss with
That's
a 9, and we're just going to let that stand. And then standing behind him, shooting over his shoulder is Newtal. Whoa. It's
also going to miss.
Not a good, this is exactly how my solo game started.
Noisy and yet not accurate.
Smoke now.
No, we can say it's all simultaneous, or that you went back to front. It's fine, either way.
All right. So Canoe Man is Etchemin, and Etchemin takes a shot. Finally, somebody.
There we go. And the skill die is an 8. Does he have a rifle?
No, he has a musket. Sadly.
Oh no.
Yep.
So you could reroll the power die.
Nah, not worth it.
Not worth it? Okay.
We're just going to take it. They're all going to reload.
Reloading. So you remove your smoke then if you want, or you can just say the reload. All right, so reloaded is done, and that is the end of turn 1. We are on to turn 2. So no one died because we've just discovered that these things are immune to bullets. And we are now at 1 for our sunrise points. And set points.
We picked up 2 clue markers.
We did pick up 2 clue markers, yes.
Does that add?
That does add, so it'll be at 3 now. Roll. You have won that one, so
1. I have 1.
Well, I mean, 3 is 3 times better than what I rolled. A 300% increase. So you get to choose the priority models to move, and you can move up to half your warband again. I mean, if you just shoot more bullets, right, everything counts in large amounts. So.
I assume silver bullets don't do any better for me.
On the Revenants, I don't think so. No, they don't seem to be allergic to silver.
Yeah, okay, so Ascowetu is going to try again with his rifle.
All right.
It's virtually point blank range.
It is, yeah. He's going to hold it against him next time. Holy mo, there you go.
All right, that was a little better.
So 8 points of damage, because you definitely hit that.
And plus 1 for the rifle would be 9.
Would be 9. So that's going to be a total of 9 minus 4 for the damage resistance. So he's at half health. He has 5 remaining. Is your second action? Yeah.
Yeah, Highlander is going to...
Engage?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and earn my pay. I'm learning this game, and I know that hand-to-hand is dangerous.
It is, especially when they don't have any reduction.
And then with method to my... I'm just going to keep that. With method to my madness... Oh, no, I don't get to
You don't do him yet. No, you resolve this action, and then you get to go.
All right, well, let's just go. Highlander v... Oh, no, it's a straight-up attack.
It is, yeah. You just try and hit the defense of 12.
Okay, he's my best fighter. He has a +2 melee.
Looking for a 12?
Nope.
No, you could reroll 1 or both. Okay.
There's
no reduction, remember. This is just straight damage. So if you manage to hit, this one would need to be, to get to a 12, you get +1.
No pain, no gain. I'm going to re-roll both.
Do it.
That's a 1. That's a 1. Here we go.
You just have to do 5 and you'll kill him. That'll do it. So that's going to be 8 points of damage because the power dice this time goes to 9 because of your attack. He is done. He only has 5 left.
That worked out as well as could be expected. And the doctor is going to move up. Can I just say a rules thing?
Sure.
I don't min-max this game, so I don't do this to force.
That's fine, yeah. I'd be hiding behind that guy too.
Exactly.
If I was him.
That's his job.
Doctor, yeah.
He's like a doctor.
Yeah, he's like, no, you go first.
So there's a little role playing going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fine with
here.
that, yeah.
And then last but not least, sort of sneaking around the end zone. Oh, I'm within 6. That was a little better than I expected. He's going to there and he's going to flip a card.
Perfect. So we find
the
ace of spades. Oh, like Lemmy says, the ace of spades is human remains. What has been done to the body of this man? It's unspeakable. This figure must make a terror check at -1, but you gain a fate die. So you go to 2 fate dice.
So terror check, I get courage.
You get to add your courage to this. Yep. Well, as high as possible.
So that'll be a 10.
With a 7 of your, plus your courage, you're going to get a total of 10. You're distracted. The figure suffers -1 to all checks until the end of its next activation. So until the end of your next following turn, you'll be -1 because you just saw something really bad.
That was really bad. That is a tough terror check, too.
It is,
if you think of the flat die roll.
That's right. Well, that one was flat. That wasn't even like a terror -1 or a terror -3 or something like that. They can get horrible. You lose your mind pretty quickly. But you do get a clue marker for this because there's weird bites in the neck of this guy.
I'm just going to put this down so we all remember he's -1 to everything.
You should put one next to him as well because he's tired because he's fought around a combat.
That is
all right. So we are into my group's activation now.
Monster phase?
Yeah, so that's right, the monster phase. I forgot they go first. So this one's really close. It's going to run towards my Voyageur, and it'll get within a half inch, which means it'll snap to combat with him.
Same thing here.
All right, so we'll resolve yours first. You want to fight a Voyageur, or sorry, fight a Highlander, and that means that you will be +1 to your defense, I believe, because you're tired. All right, so what is the defense of your Highlander?
12 now.
12 because of the -1, okay. So Revenant, I believe, is just +0 for Revenant. It rolls out. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
That's not great. So that is a 9, 7. Now you can spend one of your fate dice to force him to re-roll that. I can spend a fate dice to force him to re-roll that. I forgot. It's not, you can't use it defensively.
right.
I can use it offensively.
Yeah.
That's right.
No reason for you to do
No
that.
reason. That's pretty much as good as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
So you're going to take 9 points of damage. I knew what was up. He was like, I'm ready for this. But you have survived, so you could fight. So
This is a game mechanic that I had not understood in my solo game.
Right.
No reason not to when you're the second player.
Just punch him. So you're looking for a 12 again?
Sure am.
That will do it, and that's a 15, 16, so you're going to do 5 points of damage. 5 points of damage. You'll also push him backwards.
And it goes back 2 inches, which I played incorrectly in my first
couple games. Gives the doctor space to do some healing.
Exactly.
So over here, I'm going to get attacked now by this Revenant.
Yep.
I have a defense of 14 as my Voyager is hardy in hail and not injured.
Nope.
So it misses me, so I will strike it back, looking for that 12 with my hand weapon. That is an 11, 12 because I have a... +1 melee.
So is tie a hit or is tie not
tie
a hit?
is a hit. So
Okay,
that's going to be 10 points of damage.
It's
It's not messing around with zombies. So we have, so not zombies in this case, they're Revenants. And
Now
that
it's your
means
team.
there's one more over here. He can't see anyone though, so he's just going to come trudging towards the
Can't
group of
see
fires.
through the smoke or can?
Can see through the smoke. It's just light cover, so it's like brush.
So he's
4
just
inches.
going to the edge of the smoke.
All right. That is your the monstering phase, which
Sure
means now it's onto my fighting phase. We're currently at 1, 2 dead Revenants and 1 point of sundown, and then 1, 2, 3 markers. So we're at 6 total sunset points, which means something bad might come out of this building. I would like to get some clues though. So I'm going to have this fella move his 6 over to here and line up a shot, hopefully, into that last Revenant cover. So it's gonna be a 13, 14 because I moved, and I have an accuracy of +1 with my rifle. That is my rifle is fouled and will not fire for the rest of the game. Apparently I use it as a club on that Revenant.
So Ash, in the intro, you talked about how much I know about this period. So
Yeah.
I spent 30 years shooting flintlocks, and I just want to say there should be more
There should be more misfires, yeah.
You're now trying to work through the touch hole.
I was hoping you were going to say I spent 30 years hitting vampires with rifles.
No, I only do that
I know
once or
exactly.
twice.
It's only once or twice. Okay, it didn't happen that often. Not as often as we would think. I'm going to move and reload
Now,
over here. So just moving 6 and reloading instead of firing. You guys all hatchet now. He cannot fire his rifle anymore. My Lugaroo, I think, is going to move forward as well. And just take up arms. I'm going to try and help you out. I'm feeling, feeling nice. The boss is going to move over here. He's going to fire his musket into that Revenant that you just pushed. We don't have to be enemies. We can cooperate here and see what happens. We're both investigating the same thing. So we're going to take a shot. And you definitely seem better off than the people trying to...
I noticed the backstop of his shot is my guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying the range protocol here is not super safe. We're not being very smart with our firearms. 12, 13 because I moved. And that is an 11. I've got +2, so that's going to be an 11 + 2 is 13. 5 points of damage. It's only 1 though, because you are damage resistance 2, so it's going to take you down to 4 health points remaining. Now, I think as we continue our voyageuring, we're going to move forward 6 to here, and then we will make another sprint check. Take up position behind. We just love canoes. We're just running towards canoes right now. Oh yeah, we do. That's an 11. So 4, and then the last one, moving up 6. The Voyagers get so excited whenever they see a canoe. They're like, it's like I could put down this bundle of furs. Yeah, I was going to say. They're like, I get to put down these furs. This is amazing. That's a 9 though, so he's only going to go 2. He's going to go into the building like so. Your bottom half now of your crew, who have all reloaded and are staring down the barrel of fangs over here.
Yeah, we're going to try this again.
Yeah, he's so close now, we can't possibly miss.
How many times can we
That's right, yeah. Too close for muskets, switching to tomahawks. That's what it's going to be in a second.
Movie.
I have, yeah.
Okay, lead guy. That's
do it.
a little more like it.
If it's a musket, that's 9, goes to 5 damage. Half health now. Musket number 2.
Partner's a rifle.
Yep. That's a rifle. That's even better. That's going to be 6 damage. Just blows his head right off.
Yep.
You got close enough now that accuracy is no longer a concern.
We figured it out.
Yeah, we figured it out. We got to hit him in the head.
So those two are going to reload. Canoe Man didn't use his shot.
Nope. He's just loaded. He could move and try and take a shot over there. Never tell me the odds. Let's go for it. Oh yeah,
You got line of sight?
for sure. So a rifle or is it a musket?
Musket.
Musket. So you're looking for the red dice.
He's a sailor.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Quite in range, yeah.
We're in fact going to try and sprint. I'll just leave the first part of the move so I'm not confusing. He's sprinting.
Yep, so plus 4 more inches.
He's going to run up to this corner. Not that we're treating you as enemies, but we don't trust you yet.
No, we don't trust us either.
And this gentleman does have a musket, and all he needs to do is peek out.
He can definitely take a shot, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to take the shot that
his friend was going to make.
his friend was going to make. So that's our shot, and it's not going to be good enough, and he does not have any razzle-dazzle.
You could re-roll the 1. I mean, you've already rolled an 8. You're already at a 10.
All right, you're tempting me to
3
fall.
or higher will hit.
Sure.
Yeah. It couldn't possibly get worse, is what I'm saying. It's already a 1. There you go. So that's a 14, 15 total.
Yep.
And is it a musket or is it a rifle?
It's a musket.
That's going to be the last 4 damage. 8 minus 4 is 4. Down he goes. Okay, so everyone has now activated. We are into turn 3, and that means that we are now at 8 points of sundown. So we're very close to the menace being revealed here in the outpost.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7.
5, 6.
Oh, we're at 9.
7, 8, 9. We're at 9.
So at 9. So 1 more to go.
Yep.
1 more clue marker investigated.
Yeah, which
and something bad's going to show up. If it is, yep.
I think it's your turn to go first.
Yeah, it is. Finally, yeah. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. There's a line from Mars Attacks. We still got 2 out of 3 branches of government, and that ain't bad. So we're going to walk over here, and we're going to just pull the trigger on this. Let's see what we find.
You
The
get
Queen of Spades.
the good one.
The journals. This is the insane ramblings.
Yeah, so you get 2 clue points.
I do get 2 extra clue points, so it'll tie us for clue points. Journal of Insane Ramblings. The fate of the men seems to have come to them in the dead of winter. So there is something terrible happening here, and the journal describes a pale figure that arrived in camp and people beginning to go missing. So with 2 clue points, we're also going to gain a bit of insight into all of this, and that means that the journal will be secured when we leave. I get a power dice added to my pool on top of it. Okay, so that is also going to unleash the menace. Something comes staggering out of here, a pale figure, as the sun finally dips below, and it comes out the doorway, which I, of course, am standing next to, unfortunately, which means I have to deal with it. It's a vampire! Perhaps the most feared of all supernatural creatures, vampires are undead humans who preserve their existence by sucking the life force, usually in the form of blood from others. In this way, they are functionally immortal. The older vampires have generally had a lot of time to acquire power and skill. Thankfully, vampires have a major weakness. They can't stand the sun. Uh-oh, it just went down. So speed 6, melee plus 3, accuracy plus 2, defense 15, courage 8, health 14, but they are weakness to silver, blessed, and fire. They're ethereal, hypnotic, indefatigable, indestructible, soul sheer, strong, and weakened by faith. They have no equipment. Being indestructible, he's only ever damaged by silver, fire, and blessed attacks, which means my silver shot in my gun could silver shot in your weapons and I could actually work. My great faith on both of us will also allow us to damage the vampire. If you have any supernatural attacks, you can do it, such as fire attacks. If you have oil and torches, all of your guys who can light a fire can spend an action to try and do that, so that you can create a fire source to damage the vampires.
Yeah, I didn't plan that.
Yeah,
I'm new to the game, but wow, I can light fires. This could be good.
The supernatural is very often afraid of fire. They are a weak and cowardly lot when it comes to light. So he arrives now, and as we have just started the turn, he will activate during the creature phase. I've activated 1 model. It means that I think the boss needs to go and try and deal with this, as he is literally the only one who can. He's going to charge in 7, screaming words of encouragement to his men, and try and fight this guy. He's only melee plus 1 now. Because of his brandishing his holy icon, that will be -3 to fight back, so hopefully he won't take any damage from this thing, even though he's unlikely to actually hit. 15 here.
15. Yeah, we're all in the same team.
I got lots of dice. I got lots of rerolls at least I could do with this. Deus Vult! Deus Vult! I rolled the boxcars. So that's a critical hit.
So plus 2 damage.
Yep.
Plus base 10.
Yep, so it's going to be base 10. It's going to be a 11 because of the, 11, 12 because of the critical hit. And that's going to mean that it has 2 hit points left. So I just body it coming out the door. Apparently he was like, fear me, mortals. And I was just like, God wills it. That is the one person who can do this. And he is very mad. So he gets to fight back now. Roll a die and see if he hurts my boss. I'm only defense 14. It's plus 3 to this. That's not great. Okay, so it's going to get a total of 16. It's going to do 5 points of damage to me, leave me with 7. So I basically stab it almost to death, and then it just starts choking me and picking me up in the air.
And you have to take a massive terror.
And I got to make a massive -4 terror check. Now, luckily, I did up my courage to +3. So even though I'm -4, I'll be -1 overall
-1.
because of my roll. So don't roll low, Ash. That's what?
From the table, must roll on the madness table.
I might go insane. Well, I did just stab this thing through the face, and it just choke slammed me.
Okay, like I don't know if people who see this are going to see the interview we just did.
Right.
But this is what I love about gaming.
Yeah.
Like he went up, he almost got it, and then it got him.
I gave it my best.
The
and then
music
this guy,
was going towards the heroism part.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is the moment where you expect this guy to be the hero, and then he just gets his brains bashed out against the wall. Well, that was guy number 2. My ace in the hole is old Fluffy over here. So we're gonna immediately turn into a werewolf. This is the underworld moment where I transform into a Lugaroo, so I can no longer do objectives. But this is I can't actually hurt him because I don't have any kind of attacks that can hurt him. But I can go fight and hopefully hold him in place. So I get to move movement +1, so that's going to be a total of 7. So 3, 3, and 1. He is -1 defense now because he's tired from bashing my brains across the table. See what we roll. So with a melee of +3, because I'm transformed, that's going to give me 14 I need to hit because of his fatigue token. I get a 13, 14, 15, 16 total, but I don't do any damage. So I'm just going to keep him in melee.
That is the saddest thing
yeah,
ever.
I do hit him, but he hits me back now. That's a D12.
That is a
That's
D12.
a very dangerous vampire in that case. I'm also defense 14.
Nope.
That's going to be a total of +3, so nope, he won't hit me, and we stay locked in melee as it's vampire versus werewolf, bat versus wolf. The great trial of the century. That was guy number 3. I think we start, well, we lost the boss. That doesn't feel great. So I need to just, I think, hold things down. Both of these guys are loaded. I can't really see anybody. I'm just going to kind of back off over here and cover this, and then back off to this cover corner and be like, we'll see what the dog does. Everyone's gonna reload. My infantryman will move over here and also reload, and we'll just cover all these positions. I can't do him yet. I can only do one of these 2. That means he goes back where he was because it was just 1 model left. So he hasn't activated and he hasn't activated because I can only do half my model. Could have pushed him back, but then he would have just immediately come and fought me in the monster phase, which he's gonna do right now.
Yeah, it's the monster phase.
Yeah, he fights me again on a 14. 13 because I'm tired now, so that will definitely hit. It is going to be 7 points of damage. I have damage reduction 5, so I'll take 2 overall. Well, it hit me badly, and I'm still in combat with it, so I could fight back. Not that I can do anything here. I'm just going to swing to see what cool results I could have had.
Don't use up these
I hit it again.
You're using my die
I can
rolls.
force it back, though. That's the important thing, is now I can drive it back. So we're out of melee. If it moves again, I can force it to go towards you with the monster dice, maybe. Be like, I'm not dealing with this anymore because I can't hurt this
Actually,
at
I
all.
wish you would because I have several guys.
You do, and I have 0. I have exactly 0 people that can damage this
I've
now.
decided that we're all in this together. So
I love that spirit of cooperation.
I'm going to play to try and do you some good.
All right, perfect.
So it's my turn?
It is your turn. Oh, it's your bottom half now, yeah.
No, it's my whole turn because you went first.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I've only done half of mine.
Okay, we're going to move our 6 inches. We're easily going to be within 8 of your loop guru.
You sure are?
And we're going to bless him.
Oh, fantastic. So nice.
So you can do damage.
I can do damage. I can do the whole, the spirit of lycanthropy. I love
problem.
it. All right, we're blessed. We got blessed attacks.
So your attacks all count as
blessed now.
As blessed.
Perfect.
Okay, and then I need to come around your side of the table because I need to see if I can get a figure in combat.
Oh, you certainly can.
Yeah, there's room. Well, you know who we pay to do this.
Sure, yeah.
Mesketawan. He's the biggest. You'll notice also. He's
get him.
Several millimeters taller than the rest. So,
heading over the corpses of all the revenants he's already killed.
Yep. And then he's going to hope that he rolls the big dice.
Try and sprint in to fight.
Yep. I'm
2 10s. It's easy how you collect them, isn't it? That's an 11 more, so you are going to make your sprint move and get into combat. I will not force combat with you. I will happily let you go in there and fight that vampire if that's what you want.
So you might notice it's even painted on. He has a silver spike on his giant war club.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Ready to spike. Let's do it.
Which one's the power die?
The red die is the power die. So you're looking for a 14 here because he's already fought around a combat this turn. Several, actually.
Yep. I still have a fatigue token, correct?
No. It's a new round. You haven't
right.
gone yet. Yep. So you lose that token. You get to just try and punch a 14.
+2.
That will definitely do it. So that's a 9 + 9 is 18. So you definitely hit him for 9 points of damage. And are you blessed, holy, or fire?
Silver.
Silver. Perfect. Down goes the vampire. The vampire has been adequately dismayed from being alive and is now a corpse. Your remaining activations.
Yep.
I like how you hedged your bets in the werewolf, and now everyone's like, why'd you do that?
He's going
Everyone's
to
moving forward.
He's going to, let's see. I wonder how this is going to go.
Take a sprint roll on an 11.
Nope.
5. Nope. Just going 2.
Go in the short 2. Doctors are, I'm moving everybody.
That's it. Yeah, your whole team gets to go this time. Everyone can reload and move. You not sprint if you want.
Right. So he's going to reload and go to there.
We're just keeping an eye on each other.
That's right.
No harm, no foul here.
And we've been cooperative so far.
Yep.
We don't see any reason to...
I don't see why we can't both just investigate this vampire and go our merry way. We are currently taking our boss, who is bleeding from the ears, off the table.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do a little role-playing here, and Muskoeton is like...
Let's do this. Let's check this thing out. Yeah. Everyone's just kind of standing off. In that case, then, I will move my last Voyager here to investigate this thing, earn my 2 clue markers.
Right.
And everyone else is just going to kind of back away. And with the final roll, that's an 8. He'll go 2 inches to the fence and call for everyone to, sun's going down, sun's getting real low, buddy. Let's get out of here, Hulk. I think at this point, we can agree if we are not going to be mutually hostile, we can back away and take our investigations elsewhere, as this fort is clearly damned. I think the Northwest Company just starts setting fire to the buildings, being like, I think we just need to burn this place to the ground.
Yep.
This place is cursed.
Cool. We'll burn a few buildings too.
On the way out, yeah.
No, we don't burn. We just walk away. We
just
don't want
walk
anyone
away,
to be able to say that
anything bad happens.
That First Nations burned the buildings.
That's right. Yeah. No, the trading company makes this choice. We take the canoes though, because we like those. This is tradition. My warband leader has died in the first game. I'm going to check for injury, then death, then madness, because I have to do all those things today. This is getting very Ahabby very fast.
No, you only have to check for madness. Injury and madness.
Injury and madness. Yeah.
You did not die.
If I roll a 1, I'm dead.
Okay.
So let's see what happens. I rolled a 6, which means a flesh wound. I recover quickly for the next game at full health. However, I do have to roll on the madness table. A D10 to see what my madness is. That's a 7. Confused. Anytime this figure chooses to dive for cover, it moves in a random direction. He is seeing things now. He is very jumpy.
That's not the worst thing in the world, but it's
to be fair, if I was on this side of the world and I just seen something eat my entire sword through the face and then punch my lights out, I would also be very jumpy at this point.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. That's right. Yeah, I get +1 for having. We both get +1 experience for having investigated 2 more clue markers. We get +1 if we destroyed 2 more ghouls. You did accomplish that, and I did not. +1 experience if you end the game in possession of the journal, which I did get, and then +3 if you killed the vampire, which you did.
Min got 1. The face medicine man got 1. The officer got 1, and the Highlander really deserved more than 1. But he was sort of the team all-star.
Perfect. So everybody who kind of did something during the mission gets 1 for you.
Yeah.
I gave same for me. My Lugaroo gets 1, and the boss gets 1 because it's his consolation prize for almost going insane and seeing a horrible thing come into that building.
We got something done today. We played a game. We intended to play 4 games. We played 1 and we talked for 12 hours almost.
Yeah.
But that was monumentally fun as an introduction to this campaign. Something is afoot.
In the West.
And it has fangs.
It has fangs, and boy, did it hurt you.
It did. And it means now I'm forcing you to come back so we can do this again.
Absolutely.
Which I'm excited about. So I hope you all enjoyed watching that. We will, of course, be carrying on this campaign. And if you want to check the link to it, if you're a patron, it'll be attached to this post on Patreon. You can go download it and play through the game. Eventually it'll be up on Christian's site as well, which will also be linked in the description so you can check out all of his cool books. So thanks for watching. We'll see you for more Silver Bayonet Canada. Till I'm Ash, this is Christian. I'm Wargaming. Thanks so much for watching another Silver Bayonet Battle Report. Of course, you can check out the scenarios that were written by Christian by clicking the link onto my Patreon, or you can check out some of the great novels that he's written by checking out his website below. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.